Welcome to the Michael Show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michael Tran, and today we'll be talking about the uh, the races for the U.S. Senate in 2026. And I want to start by congratulating the people, the great people of Louisiana. Louisiana, we made it. We kicked Bill Cassidy out from the primary, and he was so well deserved. And but the fight is still on. We still have a runoff for the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate in Louisiana, where we have to decide between State Treasurer John Fleming and Congresswoman Julia Letlow. And it is your job to pick a more conservative candidate, a more reliable senator that can represent you better than Bill Cassidy. And I have to tell you, that candidate is Dr. John Fleming. And today, he is back to all of us to make his case and to garner your support when he face Congresswoman Letlow on June 27. Ladies and gentlemen, and for all of you who are not so fluent in English, you can take a look at the CC button at the bottom right of your YouTube video. You click on that and you can choose your preferred subtitle. And now with no more further delay, Dr. John Fleming, the state treasurer of Louisiana and the Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, who just made it in a runoff. Sir, thank you very much. Congratulations and welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you, Dr. Fleming, and once again, congratulations. And how do you feel after the primary when we kicked out Bill Cassidy, and especially
Yeah.
you make it to the runoff despite being outspent 10-1 or 15-1? How did you make it, sir?
Yeah. Well, very relieved. But yeah, we were spent maybe even 20-1. I mean, it was amazing how much money came into this race. But it's from special interest. It's from industry and companies. And they want their senator to serve them. They want someone elected to office by you to serve them. And that's not the way I do things. I serve the people of Louisiana. I serve the voters. And as a result of that, I don't raise the kind of money that they do. But yet, the grassroots, the people out there every day, really understand who serves them, who's going to take care of them, and who they should vote for.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And I saw it from the Letlow and the Cassidy campaign. They fight each other first, but for the Letlow campaign, they spend a lot of money just to lock out Cassidy, and then for the final weeks, they attack you just to secure her nomination
Right.
outright in the primary. They want to avoid a runoff, but they failed. And after
Right.
that, I see many Republicans, mainly from the establishment wing of the Republican Party, come out and support her. And
Yes.
I still see a lot of people who they still don't get the story that President Trump was lied to by people around her and around Governor Landry. And can you
Yes.
remind us briefly about that story, sir, so people can realize that?
Right. Yes, I announced that I'm running for this Senate position about 18 months ago. And along the way, I had heard that Jeff Landry was working behind the scenes to convince the people around President Trump to get behind her, to endorse her. At the same time, they blocked me and any access that I could have with the president. So President Trump endorses many, many people, but he depends on people around him to vet these candidates and give him the best recommendation. But in Jeff Landry's case, this was being done for his own ultimate political benefit, not really for the people of Louisiana. And while it did help serve the purpose to remove Bill Cassidy, to be honest with you, we're replacing Bill Cassidy with another Bill Cassidy, which is Julia Letlow, and that's all in the hands of our governor, who really has been working with the special interest out there, millions and millions and millions of dollars, to make up stories about me, attack stories, and none of them are true. And so I did try to get in touch with President Trump, talk with him. Of course, I worked in his administration for all 4 years, the first administration. And then I was his deputy chief of staff in the White House the last year that he was in office. But these people around him that were working with Jeff Landry would not let me speak with him. Ultimately, though, he did call me after he had endorsed Letlow, and we talked. And he asked me about myself and finally said, "Well, you're fantastic." He said, "Why didn't you call me before?" And I said, "Well, sir, uh, I was blocked at every turn. Nobody would let me speak with you. And so it is what it is." He has made some favorable comments about me, though. While he's attacking Cassidy, he talks about the two other great candidates,
Yeah.
me being one of them. So we're very pleased with that.
Yes, I saw the Truth Social before the primary. He said that Bill Cassidy was behind two great people, and everybody knows that it's you and, of course, Congressman Letlow. But the more people research about her, the more scandals people know about her. And I think that we
Yes.
should spread the message out, especially to her primary
Right.
voters, so they can change in a runoff. Do you agree with that, sir?
Yes. Yes, she has two major scandals. The first one is she has over 210 counts of insider trading while in Congress. Some of them as recently as in the last year, where she did not report them. In some cases, she made those trades after she was at a hearing where that information, that inside information, was available. Apparently, has made millions of dollars from that. That's still under investigation. But even more recently, since March, she and her campaign are under investigation by the Department of Justice for criminal acts, which include falsifying documents. And of course, that is underway, and we don't have any results from that. So clearly, she falls into this culture that we have in Louisiana, that there's so much corruption here, and I'm afraid that involves her as well.
Thank you. And right now, I would like to go through the map and the primary result to see that it's going to be an uphill battle for you in a runoff, because you need to gather the votes from the Cassidy voters, 99,000, and she won. Congresswoman Letlow, she won like almost the parishes. Cassidy won only two. I mean, three. So from now until June 27, do you still have time to get Cassidy voters to convince them to vote for you, and a
Sure.
chunk of Letlow voters to vote for you? And
Right.
given that she's going to spend more money to beat you in a runoff.
Right. Well, we did a poll. It came in yesterday, and the poll says that we're in a tie, that this race is a tie. So it looks like we have gotten the lion's share of Cassidy voters, and so that's important. We There's still a lot of people who voted for Letlow because they thought that was the way to defeat Cassidy. But now that Cassidy is no longer with us, they can now decide between us as candidates, the quality of candidates, rather than just rotely voting for one candidate for the purpose of getting rid of the incumbent. So yes, we have plans to get all of the Cassidy voters and some of the Letlow voters.
Yes, and especially you are right. And the White House, I see that the White House, they are moving their priorities from like vote for Letlow to vote Cassidy out. So they are
Right,
okay with you or Letlow. So Letlow is no longer their top priority. And I think if you can put it off in the poll, like in the 1 or 2 weeks before the runoff, President
right.
Trump may rethink of his endorsement. He changed his endorsement sometimes when
He
the
does.
other candidate make huge progress, and I hope that you
Right.
can do it, and especially people know you, and you
Right.
also won a statewide race for state's
Mhm.
treasurer. So,
Yes.
do you have any like specific plans from now to the runoff? And then you also challenged her to the TV debates.
Yes. We've challenged her to three TV debates. The reason is there's questions she needs to answer. We need to be updated on these corruption charges, the falsified documents of her campaign finance, the insider trading. We need an explanation for that. She really hasn't given that. Also, while she was in academia, she was actually in the administration of one of the colleges. She was applying to be the president.
Yes.
She's not really a professor. And she declared that the university didn't have enough DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And she says we should have much more. She demanded more and wanted to create an entire division of DEI, which is against everything we believe in a democracy and in the United States, as you know, because DEI is just another Marxist socialist concept that basically says that people are hired or they're promoted based on the color of their skin or their gender or something about them that has nothing to do with merit or competency. So she's made that very clear that she supports that. And also, um, it's very important to know that in a state like this that's very Catholic, very Christian, she voted for a bill, a funding of USAID, which actually funds abortions as well as sex reassignment surgery in children and DEI overseas to the extent of $50 billion back in 2023. So her voting record is not even close to mine in terms of being conservative. And that, again, sets us apart.
Yes, I think and that her voting record is worse than Cassidy. I gotta say, and
Yes. Yeah, it really
and
is.
yes, and the you brought up the abortion USAID, which is very concerning to the Catholic voters, and we have a lot of Vietnamese voters in Louisiana who are Catholics. And they are devout
Yes.
Catholics. And I'm sure
Right.
they will go against her if they receive
Yes.
that like the direct mails or they see the
Right.
ads about her on that, and
Right.
that is a good source of voters that you can now reach. You can outreach,
Sure. Right.
and yes, I actually watched the debate between you and her before the primary when you brought up the DEI and her fiance. And her fiance is tied with the CCS thing, and she was very
Yes.
defensive, and she tried to play the victim
Yes.
card, and everybody laughed at that. But
Yes.
yeah. But the problem is we outspend, so we have to use our money
Right.
like
Exactly.
smart, and then to reach out to the voters. I believe that you can make it. You can make it, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yes, carbon capture and sequestration, that's a hot topic in Louisiana. I'm totally against it. It violates your property rights. It can affect your land value. Uh, Big companies can take away your land without your permission.
Yes.
That's all in law. And she is all for it. I'm all against it. In fact, her fiance, it came out in the debate, her fiance is the chief lobbyist for the carbon capture and sequestration industry. So, if you want carbon capture, then you want to vote for her. But if you don't, you want to vote for me.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure if you bring those truths to the people, to the voters, they will reconsider their vote. Even they voted for her in the primary, and I believe you can make it. And Dr. Fleming, where can people can get access to your campaign, and they can make donation to your campaign, sir?
Yes. If they come to FlemingSenateCampaign.com, FlemingSenateCampaign.com, they can read more about me and also they can contribute. We very much would appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Fleming. So you have the same website, FlemingSenateCampaign.com. Everything is still the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And to my audience, please research more about Dr. Fleming and especially Congresswoman Letlow to decide who is more conservative for Louisiana, who is more reliable to represent you. We don't want a Cassidy in a skirt, and that's the point. Cassidy is out. He's out. But now we need to have a real upgrade in the United States Senate, and that is Dr. John Fleming. Please vote for him on June 27. Go vote Louisiana. Please, June 27. And Dr. Fleming, thank you so much for your time with us today. I hope that I can bring you in more shows from now until the runoff day. I wish you all the best, sir.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on again.
Thank you. And thank you to my audience. I hope you enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe for my channel. And I will see you in more interesting interview with our MAGA candidates. Thank you.